We are, guys, please. We are in Semicha program in Chod Shabbos, the end of Reish Ein Aleph. Okay, yesterday we had to leave it like somewhere in the middle of that end, and Bezrat Hashem we're gonna take it to the end and start Reish Ein Bet right away. Bezrat Hashem. So again, let's go over what we were discussing yesterday. Okay, the discussion is when you have someone that he had like a gap, he distracted his mind from the blessing that he did. So he did Kidush, right? And he did the Borei Gefen, and he did the Bracha of the Kidush, and then the cup was spilled over, right? Or he distracted his mind. So then you have to take another cup and to say Borei Gefen on that. And then we said that he doesn't have to go over and saying the Kiddush again, he just have to say the Borei Gefen again. That's what we were discussing. So on that, the Mishnah Berurah says the explanation that because he did the Kiddush properly, so then he doesn't have to go over the Kiddush again. But if it was a different case, that the cup was not full of wine, it was full of vinegar or water or something that is not appropriate for Kiddush, so then he's not exempt in his Kiddush. And he actually have to do the Kiddush again because he didn't do the Kiddush in the right way. Okay? Now what about if he had in the cup like beer or something like that that he could use as a Kiddush, right? But he didn't say the right bracha. He said Borei Gefen. He should have said Shekol Niyah Bidvoro. So what's the case there? The Mishnah Berurah says you just have to say Shekol Niyah Bidvoro and bring that cup and that's it. Finished. Okay? So that's basically where we left it off yesterday. So now I'm continuing in the Mishnah Berurah. And he says, צריך לקדש שני דווקא שלא היה יין מוכן לפניו. אבל אם היה יין מוכן לפניו בכלי על השולחן או על הספסל בעת הקידוש, נתו היה לשתות ממנו אחר כך, אין צריך גם לקדש שנית. דאבי כאילו קידש על היין שמוכן לפניו. וישתה מהן תכף מלא גמר. Now, in one of those cases that we said that is not exempt in the Kiddush, if he had more wine on the table or on the bencher or like on the whatever walking bench, something like that, so and he had in mind when he said Borei Gefen, he had in mind also on those, so then it's fine. That's fine. He doesn't have to do another Kiddush. He just have to take from this bottle and drink, and that's fine. צריך לקדש שני דווקא שלא היה יין מוכן לפניו. Okay. So then the Mishnah Berurah says, okay. יש אומרים עוד, דהו הדין אם אין יין לפניו והיה פת מונח לפניו על השולחן. Now what about if he didn't have another more wine? Okay, he didn't have more wine. He just had, you can move stuff and sit. Whatever you need to move, you can move. Whatever you need to, yeah, fine. If he had bread in front of him. So we learned previously that you can do Kiddush on bread, right? You just have to, when you don't have wine, so what do? You say, Al Netilat Yadayim, Amotzi Lechem Min Haaretz, and the bracha of the Kiddush, right? That's a possibility. So if it's a possibility to do the Kiddush on the bread, and he had bread in front of him, so why should he go back and say the Kiddush again? Even though what he had in his hand was water or vinegar that is not appropriate for Kiddush, but he had bread on the table, and he could do the Kiddush on the bread, so he's exempt in the Kiddush. Okay, that's what the Mishnah Berurah says. So then, what should he do in this case? Say, Amotzi Lechem Min Haaretz. Obviously, if he needs to wash hands, but basically to say Amotzi Lechem Min Haaretz because he missed that in the Kiddush. Okay. Now, what's the problem in this scenario? Is that he changed the order, because if you're doing the Kiddush on the bread, you should say first on Netilat Yadayim, then Amotzi, then the Kiddush. And here in this case, it comes to be that he did the Kiddush then he's doing Netilat Yadayim, then he's doing a Motzi. Okay, so that's not so great. That's why we have Yesh Omrim. It's just an opinion, but it's not the main opinion for halacha. Continues the Mishnah Berura, נראה דין קידש קודם נטילת ידיים כי מנהגנו היום אין שייך לומר דחל הקידוש של הפת. Right? So that's the problem that I said that if he didn't do the netilat yadayim, he have to do netilat yadayim now. So then it makes a gap between the Kiddush and the Amotzi. So not only that you have the Amotzi after the Kiddush, also you have the netilat yadayim in between. So then the Mishnah Berura says it doesn't really fit to say that he's exempt in his Kiddush in this way, because even though he had the bread in front of him, but he didn't have in mind that that's the kind of Kiddush he's doing, and now until he will get to say Amotzi, you have to do netilat yadayim in between, so it doesn't work basically. Okay. Paragraph Tet Zayin of Siman Reish Ayin Aleph says, לא יטעמו המסובין קודם שאיתם מקדש, אם זקוקים לכוסו, שופך ממנו לכוסות שבידם ריקניים הפגומים. So we did mention that yesterday, let's go over it again. When the people around the table need the wine from the person that he does the Kiddush, meaning after he does the Kiddush, so then he's pouring to their cups, so then you have to make sure that they don't drink before him. Okay, first you have to drink, then he gives them to drink. Now, I know that some people, they want to be like polite and to, all kinds of European manners on the table, and then they want to serve first and to give it to someone else before they drink. But according to the halacha, the case is not the halacha is not like that. You have to first drink yourself and then you give to others. Okay, and that's a very common mistake that people have. I give you the cup to drink, and instead of drink you give it to someone else. So that's like, according to the halacha, so it's like disrespecting the opportunity to do mitzvah. Yeah, you have the mitzvah in front of you. You have the mitzvah of drinking, and you pass it on to someone else. It's like I'm calling you to the Torah, and you say no, give it to someone else. It's not, there's like disrespecting the Torah. You don't do that, right? If you've been called to the Torah, so you have to go up to the Torah, right? So the same thing here.
Unless like specifically instructed by the Balabais, like if he tells you pass the wine all the way.
Okay, if he doesn't know the halacha and he tells you that, so then it becomes a big question. Should you listen to him or should you do what the halacha says? Oh. But okay, that would be. I would probably like drink and tell him, I'm sorry, but I learned in the shiur that I am supposed to drink first when it comes to my hand. The next cup I will like hand over, no problem, something like that. Depends who is the balabait. Obviously, if you will get it like offended, whatever, okay, fine, Like Kvod HaBriot is many times comes before different like halachot. Anyhow, says the Mishnah Berura. No, we are in the Shulchan Aruch. So the Shulchan Aruch says that that's only in the case that they need your wine. Yeah, they don't have their wine. But continues the Shulchan Aruch, אבל אם היו עליהם כוסות יין שאינם פגומים, if they have cups of wine in front of them, they drink from their cup. They don't need you. They're not waiting for you to serve them. רשאים לשתות קודם שישתה המקדש. So then they can drink before he's drinking. Okay. So usually it doesn't happen. Usually, like why there will be a delay? He did the kiddush and he drinks. Then everybody drinks. That's fine. But in those cases that we were speaking before, that for example that somebody hit his hand and his like wine got spilled over or something like that, so then it becomes a big question. They have like wine in front of them. They heard the kiddush. Like, should they wait and like until he will drink, or they can just drink, right? So then it comes into action, that halacha that we just learned. Let's see the Mishnah Berura on that. לא יתאמו מסובין, היינו, אף שהיה להם כוסות מפני עצמם לשתייה. So again, if they waiting for your wine that you will serve them from your cup, so even though they have their own cup, and you pour from your cup into their cup, still they shouldn't drink before you. Shouldn't drink before the person did the kiddush. פגומים, פגום נקרא שטעם מהמשכין תחילה. So again, what is the idea of pagum, of blemish? Drink wine is that someone else drank from the same cup before you. right? That's called blemished. So it's not appropriate for Kiddush. And for our halacha, what we're learning now, so then they will need to wait until the person that did the Kiddush will drink first. משנה ברורה. את הכוסות של המסובין פגומים, מצווה שישפוך המקדש מעט מכוסו לתוך כוסן, ובזה יתקן הכוסן שלא יהיה פגום. הואיל שהם זקוקים לכוסות, צריכים להמתין להבשיתה מתחילה. Now what about if their cups are blemished? What does it mean blemished? So supposedly, let's say this year in Purim. So I don't know if you know, but there is people that they planning to do the meal of Purim in the late afternoon in Friday, and to start their drinking for Purim, and then they go into Shabbos. So they do like they do what we learn about, like pores mapa mekadesh, to put the tablecloth on the bread, to do Kiddush, and to continue the meal as a
Should you have an arvit in the middle of your Shabbat meal?
Then it's a question about arvit. You're right. That will be the question. What to do about arvit? Should you make a break in the middle of the meal, or you do the arvit after the meal? Okay. So halachically, in a case like that, you're permitted to do the arvit after the meal. Anyhow, that's not my point. My point is, I'm just trying to find like a scenario that you have people around the table, you doing Kiddush, and their cups are blemished. So in that kind of scenario, so it fits, yeah, that they were drinking, they were in the middle of a meal, now he's doing Kiddush in the middle of the meal for Shabbat, right? So then their cups are blemished because they were drinking before, okay? And then in a case like that, the Mishnah Berurah says the appropriate thing will be to pour from your cup to their cups, and that will be fixing the blemish or the fact that it was cups that was drank from. So in a case like that, it means that they need your cup, they need your wine, and then the application of that will be that they have to wait for you until you drink, and then only they can drink. Okay? So again, you want to drink and then to serve them. But if you drink and then you serve them, so it's not nice. Also today, with all of the like fears of people from viruses and everything, so like you drink and then you give to someone else, it's not nice, right? So what do? So you want to pour them and then to drink. But if you pour them and then you drink, so it's very likely that they will drink before you, and that's also not appropriate, right? So what do? What do you do? So my trick with the way I'm doing that is that I'm doing the Kiddush, then before I'm drinking, I'm pouring a little bit to another cup, and then I drink from my Kiddush cup, and then the other cup, I'm putting more wine or grape juice in the other cup, and then I serve it to people. Yeah, that's the way that I'm doing that, and I saw other rabbis that are doing that as well. So that's a good solution. Yeah, they're like that. Everybody are happy. The halacha is happy. The doctors are happy, and everybody can eat and drink together, right? Baruch Hashem. Okay.
Doctors are never happy.
What?
Doctors are never happy.
Doctors are never happy.
Generally, not happy people.
No, it's not true. It's not true.
Not true? Okay.
Not true. There is those
Let's
that are
hope
happy.
it's not true.
Bezrat Hashem. Bezrat Hashem. Hashem will make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got in the Mishnah Berurah. No, Yud Zayin. Fine. Last paragraph of Reish Ayin Aleph. Paragraph Yud Zayin. אין צריך לשפוך מכוס המקדש לכוסות יין שלפני המסובין, אלא אם כן היו פגומים. Okay? You don't need to pour over from the cup of the person that has the Kiddush to the cups of the wine that the other people around the table has, unless they are blemished. Okay? So another way to do the Kiddush, halachically, that it will be good, is to pour everybody wine, and then you do the Kiddush, and then they drink from their cups. So again, if their cups, they were not drank from before, it's not blemished, even though it's not full. Okay, it's important to know. It doesn't have to be a full cup for them. Just you have the person that does the Kiddush, he have to have a full cup for him. So you can pour a little bit for them, and if it was not drank from, so it's not blemished, and then they can drink it right after you do the Kiddush. That's fine. That's another way. Okay. The reason that I don't do it, because many people they want specifically to have like a little bit of the wine that the person that did the kiddush on that wine, right? So if they have like the wine before, so then they don't get like to taste from the wine that was in the kiddush, right? Supposedly, I would tell them, look, when I'm doing the kiddush, you have the wine there, so I have in mind for all the wine in my kiddush, so all the wine is included. So okay, I didn't hold it in my hand, but it's still included in the kiddush. It was poured before the kiddush, so it's included, right? But people don't like that. People want to have like a little bit of that wine that was held by the person that does the kiddush. So that's fine. You know, there's a concept. It's called Retzono shel Adam Kvodo. The will of a person is his honor. You want to like make someone happy, so you take a consideration is what he wants. Anyhow, says the Shulchan Aruch, if the cups are blemished, אז צריך לשפוך לכל כוס וכוס כדי שישתו כולם מכוס שאינו פגום. Then you need to pour a little bit to all of those cups in front of the people that they will drink from a cup that was not blemished. Okay? Let's see the Mishnah Berurah on that. אז צריך, then you need, היינו קודם שישתה מברך. Okay, that's a big Kidush here in the Mishnah Berurah. The Mishnah Berurah says, according to the Shulchan Aruch, the person that does the Kiddush need to pour to them before he drinks. But that's tricky because they're not supposed to drink before him. So he should pour them, but they should not drink. And obviously no one can speak in that point. So you have to give all those explanations before you starting the Kiddush. Okay?
They can't speak while you're doing the pouring?
No, you did the Kiddush, you didn't drink, they didn't drink, so no one is allowed to speak, right?
All right.
So supposedly everybody should know those halachot, and then you don't have a problem. But Maise, practically most of the people don't know those halachot, unfortunately. So it's a problem. Yeah. You pour them, but they're not supposed to drink. So or you do the other solution that I gave, or you tell them like a whole speech, a whole class before you're starting the Kiddush, right? To explain what's going on, right? Okay, so let's just finish this Mishnah Berurah Pei Gimel. Mishnah Berurah Pei Gimel says, כדי שישתו כולם, אף על גב דשתיית כל המסובין לא מעכבה. So, okay, we just said in the beginning of the Siman that you don't need everybody to drink to drink wine. You just need one person that drinks the amount of wine of like melolog mav, a mouthful. So now, why are you talking now about like obligation of all the people around the table drinking? Doesn't fit what you said in the beginning of the Siman, right? So the Mishnah Berurah explains, מכל מקום מצווה לכתחילה שישתו מכוס שאינו פגום. Okay? The mitzvah lechatchila, it's true. You're exempt in the obligation of Kiddush even without it. But if you want to have lechatchila, so everybody have to drink from a cup that is not blemished. Okay? Okay.
So if one, let's say with the one that's making Kiddush, if he drank already from it, and he gives afterwards to people, so is that considered a chayzat pogum?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
does
it really help to give to people afterwards?
Okay, so what can you do? So many people, if you're not worried about viruses and things like that, so you drink, and then you pour more into the same cup, and then you pour from your cup to them. So by you like adding more wine to your cup, so you're fixing the blemish, then it's not blemished anymore. Then they can drink, right? So if it's only your family, you don't have like people from outside. So then like everybody, you know that everybody are healthy. You can have everybody drink from the same cup.
That's what big rabbis, they pour more and more into their cup and they pass around.
Right. So I'm saying you're right. There's all kinds of different customs of how to manage that thing with the Kiddush cups. Yeah.
That's a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of like some like the mesubim that they should hold up their cup so that it becomes a kosher bracha? Meaning like if they just leave it on the table, they could if they're going off the bracha of the balabais, they can drink because it has the status of Kidush, but it doesn't have a kosher bracha. But if they hold it up, it becomes a kosher bracha. Ever heard of like?
I don't recall that I heard that in this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You heard it this way?
That's what they do in Birkas Torah, like by the in Shabbatim. So
Yeah.
or they tell you like hold up. They have a couple guys like around because there's a lot of guys. So you have a couple guys around the table, hold up the cup, and then it becomes a kosher bracha.
So they have like one person that is doing the kiddush,
Yeah.
but other people are holding up the cup, and then they pour from that cup as well.
Yeah.
Fine.
Kilo, they're
I don't know what's their
even-
source. I don't.
No, but I mean, if you say like Semicha on it, so like Ki'ilu, they're saying Kiddush on a cup.
Yeah, fine. I can hear that, but okay. Yeah, fine. So
Maybe that solves the issue of like, do you drink first?
you
and
can
then pour?
you can do what I said suggested to pour everybody before the kiddush, and everybody you can hold their cup and
Yeah.
drink after the kiddush.
That's what I'm saying.
No, you said that just few people, not everybody.
Well, no.
I'm saying like you can do that the same thing with everybody. Just
Yeah.
like share the wine.
There it happened because they had a lot of people, so they have a couple people and
Right.
then they pass it around.
Right. Okay. Fine. No problem.
Right.
So all of those possibilities are legit. Fine. Okay. So really, I have to end up here, but I said I'll start the next siman. So let's start a little bit because we started late today.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
What? Maybe like I missed the forest through the trees, whatever. But what is the benefit of drinking first, so he's not like pouring away from the bracha? That's the idea.
There is a concept that is called en ma'avirim ala mitzvot.
Okay.
En ma'avirim ala mitzvot. It means like when you have a mitzvah in front of you, do it, take it. Don't like pass away. Okay, I'll do it another time. Maybe tomorrow,
Okay.
next week, next year. No, you have an opportunity to do mitzvah, grab it, do it. Yeah, that's the idea of en ma'avirim ala mitzvot. So I give you a cup, you should drink from kiddush, and you have the opportunity because it's in your hand. So now you're going to give it to someone else. What are you doing? En ma'avirim ala mitzvot. Drink first, then the next cup you pass on. Yeah.
That's for the Mekadesh or also for
No,
the
for the people around the table. For the Mekadesh, so then you have another issue that if they need his cup, so then they shouldn't drink before he drinks, right?
Mhm.
That's another thing. Two
Okay.
different things.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, so maybe instead of starting the next siman, maybe there's other questions, and we'll like continue with the questions. Any questions?
Well, that the spirit of them not drinking before you, is that have something to do with like the idea of kind of honoring the person that's actually performing the mitzvah? It's a question of
Yes.
Spirit of-
You want to honor the person that did the kiddush.
yeah.
It's not so much about the person, it's about the mitzvah.
Right.
He is the one that is performing the mitzvah for everybody. He is
Right.
facilitating that, like the mitzvah for everybody, that everybody will be exempt in his merit, right? So you honoring it's also the person, but it's not
Yeah.
so much about the person. It's about like the fact that he is doing the mitzvah now.
Yeah.
He is the mitzvah man.
That's your man.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay. So maybe instead of start, I prefer to start like a new thing in a new class. So instead of starting that, I will tell you a little word that we skipped in the beginning of the class, some like inspiration. So you had a question yesterday, no? What you wanted to ask about the wars of Mashiach ben Yosef?
Yes, I did. Right, if you can give me just like some examples where you see that.